One bright and peaceful morning on the island of Motunui, Moana walked along the beach with her pig friend Pua. The sun was rising over the ocean, painting the sky with soft colors. The wind was gentle, and the waves made a quiet rhythm against the shore. Everything looked normal, but Moana felt something unusual. It was as if the sea was trying to say something. As she stood near the water, a small glowing shell floated to her feet. It sparkled with a soft blue light. Moana picked it up and held it to her ear. Suddenly, a gentle whisper came from the shell. "Come find us. Come to the island of whispering shells. We are fading." Moana's eyes widened. She had never heard of such an island, but she knew one thing. The ocean was asking for help. Without waiting, she ran through the village to find Maui, who happened to be visiting Motunui that week. He was showing off his magical fish hook to the children and telling stories again. "Maui," Moana called. "I need your help. The ocean sent me a message." Maui raised an eyebrow. "Let me guess. You want me to save the world again?" Moana held up the glowing shell. "This is serious. There's an island that's disappearing. It's calling to me." Maui crossed his arms, then grinned. "All right, Wayfinder. Let's go." They set sail that very afternoon. The ocean welcomed Moana's canoe, and the wind guided their sails. Hei Hei, the silly chicken, clucked loudly from his seat on the boat. The sun shone brightly at first, but as they traveled farther, the sky grew cloudy, and the sea began to feel heavier. "We're getting close," Moana said, staring ahead. "Can you feel that?" Maui nodded. "It's like the ocean is holding its breath." Suddenly, dark waves surrounded them, and strange shadows danced below the surface. The glowing shell in Moana's hand pulsed with light, guiding them forward. But then crash! A giant wave lifted their boat into the air. Moana held on tight while Maui used his hook to pull them back to safety. The wave passed, and ahead they saw it. A beautiful, mysterious island, half covered in mist, with shining shells floating all around it like stars. They landed on a quiet beach where the air felt thick, as if even the wind had gone silent. Moana listened. The shells around them were whispering in soft, musical voices. "Who's there?" Moana asked. The shells answered in a chorus of whispers. "We are the voices of stories, of songs forgotten and fading. Help our guardian, help Lani." Moana and Maui followed the trail of glowing shells into a lush green forest. Trees with golden leaves shimmered in the dim light, and vines hung low from tall branches. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. No birds, no wind, not even the sound of their footsteps. Soon, they reached the center of the island. There stood a large temple shaped like a giant spiral shell, carved from shining white stone. The door opened by itself as they approached. Inside, the temple was cold and still. At the heart of the room lay a tall figure made of stone, beautiful and peaceful, but frozen. "That must be Lani," Moana whispered. "She's asleep," said Maui. "Or worse." Moana stepped closer and placed the glowing shell near Lani's chest. The shell began to glow brighter and brighter. Moana closed her eyes and began to sing, a quiet, ancient song of the ocean, passed down from her ancestors. Her voice echoed through the temple, filling the empty space with warmth. Slowly, the stone around Lani cracked and fell away. Her eyes opened, glowing with soft blue light. "You heard our call," Lani said with a gentle smile. "You came." Moana helped Lani stand. "What happened to your island?" Lani's voice was soft and musical. "This island holds the stories of the sea, but people have forgotten them. The more they forget, the more silence grows." The stories were turning into whispers, then fading into nothing. "But why now?" asked Moana. "A great silent spirit, one older than even Te Whiti, awoke deep below the ocean," Lani said. "It feeds on forgotten memories, and it stole the voice of the island. Only a heart full of story and song could bring it back." Lani led Moana and Maui to the top of a hill where a tall tree stood, its branches full of sleeping shells. "These are the last of our songs," she said. "If they return to the sea, they will sing again." Moana nodded. She, Maui, and Lani gathered the shells, and one by one released them into the waves. As each shell touched the water, it glowed and sang. A different melody, a different voice. The air grew warmer. Flowers bloomed. Colors returned. Even Hei Hei clucked and flapped his wings in delight. accidentally kicking one of the shells into the water, which sang the funniest song of all. Soon, the entire island was alive again. The ocean sparkled, the trees swayed in rhythm, and the shells danced in the air like fireflies. When it was time to leave, Lonnie gave Moana a gift, a shell necklace that shimmered with light. "This will remind you that stories matter," Lonnie said. "Even the quietest voice can save a world." Moana and Maui returned to Motunui with the shell necklace and a heart full of new stories. That night, under a sky full of stars, Moana told the village about the island of whispering shells. She gave the glowing shell to the children and said, "Never stop telling your stories. Never stop singing. The ocean is always listening." As the villagers sang and danced, Moana looked out at the waves. The sea whispered a soft thank you. She smiled. She was ready for the next adventure. The end.